from Stamp Anything here, and today I am excited to be with you for Time to Get Crafty with our first ever Mega Make and Take kit. So this is what you would have received if you ordered the Mega Make and Take kit, and this is the little kit that we had that's included in the package. So we're going to go ahead and open up our little baggie. You would have gotten this little flyer with a coupon code. You would have gotten an A2 card base with an envelope. You would have gotten some rhinestone embellishments, some orange twine, some foam dots, a green banner band. You're going to have 3 of these in different colors, banner flags, a pre-printed sentiment, and your pre-printed image to color. So I'm going to put this stuff aside and we're going to get started coloring our image. So let me zoom in here, and we are going to start with our skins, and we're using our light skin tone color combination. So we're going to begin with our E04, and we are going to be putting down on her legs the side shadow and the little indent for her knee, underneath the cap of her little shawl, and down the side of her arm. And then on the other arm, we're going to do the little nook in the arm, and then around and down by the elbow. And that is our E04, which is our darkest color. Then we're going to start with our E11. And we are literally going to go over our E04 line and then just extend it out a little bit further. And this just helps to start blending out your E04 with the other colors you're going to be using, since that is the darkest color. So that is our E11. Now we're going to go in with our E21. And we are going to, again, go over what we just colored, but extending it out even further. And that is the whole process of what you keep doing over and over, is going over your previous colors and extending it into the rest of the non-colored areas, building up your layers and coloring in the skin tone. Now it's our E00. Again, over what you past colored, extending it more. So now the legs are nearly colored. Here's the arm, and now the other arm. And now with just a little bit of white still showing, you're going to go back with your E000 and fill in the rest of her body parts. Really quick and easy first layer of skin. Now we're going to go back and do the exact same thing in the exact same order, adding more contrast and a second layer of ink so it reacts better to the paper. Because once your paper is wet and you add on more color, your blends go that much more smoothly. And the colors become more vibrant, because the more layers you add, the darker it's going to get. So there is our E04. Now again with our E11. And you should really start to see the contrast in your coloring, really starting to kick it up a notch and become more vibrant. Now your E21. Our E00. And now your final E000. And there you have her cute little body with her shading. And now we're going to do the same color combination in the same order on her face. So we're going to start again with our E04. And we're going to lay this down underneath her bangs, or fringe as some people call them. We're going to hang it going down, and then we're going to have it curve a little bit onto the sides of her face. And now with our E11, repeat the process and extending it out just a little bit further. And you should see by doing this that your E04 softened up some and your blend is smoother. Now we're going to go in with our E21. Again, just following what we've already put down. And I'm also going to now start pulling in the curve around her eye so that I leave the white area around her eye. And now our E00. And because the face has a much bigger area to color, the blend on this first layer is going to look a little bit blotchy, and it's not going to be blending as well, and that is completely normal. It's when you go in with that second layer is when your blend is going to become more smooth. You're just coloring in a much larger area, so you're going to need more ink to pull that out. And now we're going to go in with our E000, and I'm filling in the rest of the face area here. And now for a little fun, we're going to add in some R20 to give her some pink rosy cheeks. And I am starting up on the side of her face, going around the curve and underneath the eye to give her cheeks some definition here. So again, start up on the side of her face and then just going around following the curve. And now I'm going to take my E000 just to soften out that R20 on the edge because it's a little harsh compared to the light E000. And now we're ready for layer number 2. And layer 2 always goes a little bit faster because you already know where your colors are going. So we are just going again down the hairline and a little on the side of the face with our E04. Then taking our E11, repeating the process. And again, you can probably see that your colors are a little bit more bold. The shading is a little bit more predominant in that contrast area. And now your E21. Don't forget to go around the rim of that eye. And I'm just going to pull down a little more of the E21. And now our E00. I'm going to go now into the cheek area. R20. Second coat always makes her cheeks a little bit more brighter, which is always fun. I like little rosy cheeks on my colorings. And then E000. Did I say 3 zeros? E000, finishing it off and blending it out to make it smooth. And there is our face of our little girl. And now her skin is done. And now we're going to move into doing her hair, which I know for some people is an intimidating thing. This is a very small area of hair we're working with here. So we're going to use our YR27. And I am just going to be pulling in lines from both ends of her little bangs here. And I'm basically adding a line into each of the 3 sections and just kind of flicking it in towards the center. So it's heaviest on the ends and getting thinner towards the center. Now my E33, going over what I just did, but extending it further towards the center. And now to make her a little blondish, we're going to put in our Y32. And basically just fill in the rest of the areas so she has a cute little blonde hair. Now this is a little bit different the next step we're going to do, because now we're going to actually add our darkest color, which is E07. And the reason why I didn't use this first like I did on the skin is if I would have done 2 layers with the E07, it really would have made it a little bit too dark to pull it off more as a blonde than it would have been. So I'm just putting in that E07, darkening in those root areas and the tips. And now I'm going to repeat the first 3 steps we did. So go back with our YR27, which is going to now soften your E07. And just extend it a little bit further. Now you're going to get your E33. Going over. And again, it's just going to soften any harsh lines. And now your final Y32 goes over the whole entire area of her hair. And it actually kicks up the blonde parts of her hair. And here we have a cute little strawberry blonde, I guess you want to call it, hairstyle. And so now we're going to go and we're going to start on her hoodie and her little shawl cape. And we are going to begin with the shawl. And we're going to use RV19. And we're going to just add a little shadow underneath where the flowers are and a little area underneath where her arm would be casting a shadow. Now our RV17, blending it out. Now we have a bigger jump from our 3rd color, which is RV13. Because I didn't want to make it too plum purple, as I much wanted it to be more of like a fuchsia pink. So this is a bigger jump, so you do have to work the blend a little bit more. And if you find that the blend, here's R11 to finish it off, if you find that the blend is a little bit too stark for you, you can always add another bridge color between your RV17 and your RV13. You can use your RV, I believe you might have an RV14 or an RV13 that you can go ahead to help bridge that. And in the smaller area, it's not as noticeable, but as we do the hoodie on top, you will notice the bigger break in the color. Okay, so now we're going to start on our hoodie with that RV19, going around her head. And we're actually going to fill in the bottom part of the hoodie in a solid dark color of that RV19 because that's where it would be the darkest. And then we're just going to be coming up the side and then underneath a little bit of her hairline. Then our RV17, blending that out as we go up the side. Same thing on the other end. And now we're going to transition to our RV13. Again, you might have to work the blend a little bit by smushing it. I don't know how else to describe it, but you have to add a little bit more pressure to get that blend going because of the jump in the color. And now we're going to grab our RV19 again, and we're going to add some more shadows up on the top. We're going to add some lines underneath these little flower petals. We are going to go around the hairline on her hood, where her hair is coming out of the hood, and add a little bit of a shadow there. And then we're going to add some darkness to these ear areas. So I'm just laying down the base of my color. And now our RV17, and start blending it. Again, the RV19, RV17 is a close in color, so the blend is not going to be so hard to pull off. But we're going to start that blend. And then same thing on this other ear. Just get that going. And now our jump to our RV13. And again, just like how the face was a bigger area, so is this part of the hood. So it's going to take a little bit more work and a little bit more pulling away to look at it to see where you need to add more colors. So the first layer, again, is going to look a little blotchy, and that is okay. And you might find that you have too much of a light area and you need to go back and add some more of the contrast, but you won't know until you lay down that first layer so that you can actually see where you want the colors to end up being. So just always remember, it's always just a work in progress. And it's okay to change things as you go along from what you had in your head to how it actually comes up, because you might need to add something more to it than you thought. Again, so we're just blending this out. And I am using a circular and back-to-back motion because I really just need to get these two colors to blend a bit better. There is a little bit of a starkness of the line, as you can see, and that is okay because we can go back and add to that. So now just saturating it more a little with my RV11, just so I can see where the colors are, so I can see where I'm going to need to blend out further. So we're just filling the rest of it in with our RV11. For me, it's too pale of a pink. I don't want it to look like a pale pink as much as I want it to look more like a fuchsia pink on the top here. So I am going to actually go back and add a little bit more color. So first I'm going to start with the RV13 to see if that is going to do it for me. And you want to do it in steps like this, because if you start with the darkest one again and you do it too far down, you can't fix it. So when you're working to add colors backwards like this to fix something, you want to put them in reverse order. So to me, it's still a little bit too pink. So now I'm going to use that RV17 and pull down a little bit more of the color here. And then there's my RV13 to blend that out. So I just made my layers come down a little bit further so it wasn't that pale pink. Which if you like yours to be the pale pink, then you could have stopped where we were at, and that's completely fine. It's up to you. And then we have our lightest color to finish out the blend. There's also a lot of tricks you can pull too if the coloring isn't up to your expectations. If you're still learning how to blend and you're still getting a lot of harsh lines, you can take a white gel pen and add polka dots, because then that's going to draw the line out of view and more into the polka dots, and that's a really good trick to trick the eye. So now onto her clothes. We're going to make this the pale pink, so we're using RV14. And I wanted her pink in her clothes to be different than the pink in her hood. And now our RV11. And then RV10. And it's a softer pink, but I need it to have a little bit more of a contrast here. So I'm just going to darken up and pull in some more of the edges here. So where her hood has more of the fuchsia violet-y punch to it, her outfit has more of the bubblegum baby pink. And just blend that all out. And same thing with her shoes really quick. We're just going to add RV14 to the sides. And then just finish it up with the RV11. And there you have our little outfit. And now we're going to do the flowers on her. So we are going to start with our G09 and get the leaves on the bottom of her collar done. So we're just adding a little bit of shade with our G09. Then we're going to go in with our YG05. And then finishing it off with our YG01. The YGs are my favorite color family. I think they blend so pretty together. I love them. Okay, now we're going to go and start on her little flowers. So we're going to use our YR27, and we're just going to lay down a little bit of like a shadow area underneath the center of her flower. And the same on the baby flower. Then we're going to take a Y35. We're going to blend that out and extend it. And then follow up with Y32 and complete the flower. And you are always welcome to do 2 layers on all of these as well if you want it to add more punch and more contrast for you. The center of her flower, we're going to do YR07 and YR02. And I just realized we forgot to do her tongue. So I'm just going to grab a marker we have out. So we're just going to grab RV17 just to give her a little bit of a pink tongue. Usually I do them in reds, but we have our RVs out, so we'll just do that. And there is our cutie pie little bunny girl. And now we're going to start on our card construction. So you have these 3 banner flags, and you just kind of want to figure out where you want them to be on your card. I want to do mine staggered, so we are going to have to trim some. So I just want to kind of know where I want them to be. I don't want them touching the bottom of the card, but I want them pretty close. And I'm just going to put a couple dots of glue down so that now I can figure out where my band is going to go across. And I'm going to actually make it flush with the ones on top so it's less trimming. And I am just going to cut off this little bit of excess. You can adjust yours to whatever height you want for yours. And now I'm just going to tuck it in with some more glue so it's more secured in the spot now of where I want it to be. So now before we glue our band down, we have to kind of measure it because we want to add our twine to wrap around it. So I'm just going to eyeball where I want it to be. You can actually physically go and measure it. The card is a standard A2, so if you have a paper trimmer handy, you can just go cut that down to 4 1/4. I did not have a paper trimmer handy, so I'm just going to quickly cut it this way. So now I have my band, and now I am going to take my twine, and I'm just going to hold it in place while I wrap it around. And I want it to wrap around 3 times. Oh, that's 4, so hold on, we're going to take that last one off, wrap that around. I'm going to flip it over and cut where they meet. And I'm just going to use a random piece of tape. You can use washi tape, whatever you have to secure the back of your twine to the back of your card. If you have a glue dot, that works fine. Washi tape, I just have like packing tape near me, so I'm just going to use a piece of that real quick. And I have a piece hanging off, so hold on, I gotta trim that in a second, but just want to center my twine, make sure it's where I want it to be. Let me just cut off this little excess of tape real quick. Okay, now that I have that taken care of, now I'm going to position it on my card, and I'm just going to go and glue the back. Obviously, your tape would be a smaller section. I had packing tape, like I said, so it's a little bit wide, but just make sure you put enough glue down that you'll be able to secure it onto your card mat. And I'm just going to even it up on both sides, and then secure it down. And you do have to work it a little because the twine is there adding a little bit of bulk, so I'm just making sure that I get it glued down really good and secure. So then we have our little girl, which we will eventually put the pop dots on. So I'm just putting these on. There's just enough so you can get it nice and covered well. Let's see it. Yep, I could put one over here by her feet because that's a small closing. Okay, so we've got to figure out how our sentiment is going to be. And I'm just going to position it. I like it right there. So we are going to glue down our sentiment. And then we can remove our pop dots. And place our little girl right on the front of our card. Nearly finished. Okay, so next you got these rhinestones. They are not self-adhesive, and I apologize for that. They do have a little bit of a sticky back, but they're not sticky back. That's just to hold them onto the sheet. So I'm just going to take 3 of them off. And I am just going to lay them down one by one. And okay, didn't work. And let me just plop that right there. And I'm just going to make 2 across and 1 down. And feel free, you have a lot of rhinestones that came with this, so you can add more to the bottom layer or bottom side if you want as well. And now the only thing left to do is with your extra twine that you cut off the excess of, just tie yourself a little bow. And you want to make sure your loops are roughly the same size. Just play with it until you get it the way you want. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then I always like to tie knots in the hang down string part. So I'm just going to do that because I don't want it to fray when I cut these. So I like to tie the knot there. And now just trim off my edges. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue on the back side and put my bow. And there we have our adorable little Somebody Loves You. So again, this was our first mega make and take, and I want to thank you all for allowing me to be in your homes with you for this past 35 minutes, and here is our finished card. For today, also in your pack, you have received a little coupon that tells you a little bit about us. It's for $5 off your next website order. Use the code MEGATAKE. Don't worry about the $20 or more. I am going to waive that. It can be $5 off any order. We carry stamps, stencils, dyes, and inks. We carry a little bit of everything. We have tape, glue. We're a one-stop shop, basically. So again, we are Stamp Anything, and for those of you that are new to us, you might also want to have a little more information about who we are and what we do. We have an awesome growing community of fans, and we would love for you to be a part of that with us. So one thing you may not know is that we have a monthly stamp club. We have monthly releases that come out every single month we have 3 new images with coordinating dies, a word die, a stencil, and a builder die. So we have the 3 different tiers for you for Stamp Club, and I will just briefly go over them with you at this time. So the basic tier is $24. This is US and Canada pricing. International is just a little bit more, but not by that much. The basic tier is for the 3 new image stamps that come out with our release, and you get a 15% store-wide discount. Our next tier is the standard, and that is the 3 image stamps plus the 3 coordinating dies that go with them. For $36 a month, you also get the 15% store-wide discount and 20% off our themed bundles. And our most popular tier is our deluxe one. That's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle. You get the image stamps, the outline dies, you get a stencil, a word die, and a builder die. They all coordinate together. Again, the store-wide discount, the bundle discount, but you also get a free bonus birthday stamp. And then all of these tiers, when we have our color along series and we do them with digital stamps, you will get the free digital stamp for that color along free class that we do in our group. And I'll give you more information on that in a few moments. This is just a quick visual of everything that you get in the club. So the first row is the basic of just 3 images. The second is the images with their outline dies, and the bottom is the stamps, the images, the outline dies, a stencil, a word die, and a builder die. So you really see you get a lot in the deluxe tier. No obligation, cancel at any time, whatever you need. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. These are our links. Our fan page on Facebook is Stamp Anything Stampers. We have a growing community, like I said. We do free color along videos, and we have Technique Tuesdays where you can learn a new technique. We will also soon be starting our paid online classes where you actually get the kit with the actual products. But the free color alongs are there for you to view and enjoy anytime that you'd like to. There's not a set schedule of when we do them at this time. You just pop into our group and check our announcement board, and we'll let you know who's doing what and at the time. We also have one of our DT members that does layouts, scrapbook layouts, using dies and stamps and stencils. So we really want to show you different ways of being able to use your products in new and unique ways, and in ways that maybe you haven't thought of using them before. So again, I encourage you all to come and try us, join our community, talk to our other members, and get to know us, because we would love to get to know you. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your day, and you can always contact me if you need any information. Have a great one. Bye.